Good boy. Welcome back to the Piney Woods Homestead, y'all. This morning we're going to get out here, get the animals fed real quick, and then Lisa's got to get down in the garden, tie some tomato plants up, but she's going to help me first. I need her ability to get down low to the ground and set a jack for me. I got to jack up one corner of that farrowing barn so that we can do a little bit of work, get that thing knocked out today. Got other projects that are pending, so got to get it done. Going to try to get it done before these nasty storms roll in, and y'all, we can feel it this morning. Humidity's rough already, and it's early. So guys, thanks for hanging out with us. Hit that old thumbs up, subscribe if you hadn't, and if you have, y'all, we appreciate you. We're gonna get on to it.
And after I get the tomato plants tied up, I'm gonna pull the rest of the lettuce out of the lettuce bed, because we've got 2 beds with lettuce, and there's only a few heads left in one bed, so I'm gonna pull those up and get that bed replanted in more okra. And then I'm going to pull the rest of the kohlrabies, pickle those, and plant some acorn squash there for those work.
Sounds good to me. You see Samson over there? I don't know if you can see him through the woods.
He'll take over in a minute.
He gets all excited
There he goes.
when we start coming down here to feed. All right, here we go.
Watch out, Dixie.
There you go, girl. Looks normal. You may wonder why we use these sorting panels like this. Y'all, it's just because it's a large animal. And if they get their snout up under, they can knock you down pretty easy. So it's better be safe than sorry when you're working with pigs. Don't trust them like they're a pet, because they're not a pet, y'all. They are livestock. And that's why we keep a sorting panel, and you try your best not to turn your back on them, especially when it's slippery and nasty and muddy out here. Because you don't want to end up with a broke leg or a broke back. Oh, I hit my head on that thing.
Again? Watch out. Watch out, Mama. There. Come here. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Alright, let's get wild, man.
I came on out here the other day. Y'all saw me working on this farrowing barn, and I went ahead and got the roof up here on it. It's not perfect. It's not 100% square, but it is level. I didn't put any furring strips or whatever you call it underneath the metal. I just put my little rafters so close together it didn't really matter, kind of shored things up. But it's gonna shed water, and it's gonna work out good. The only thing is I've hit my head on this thing like 3 times. So I need put me something hanging down to remind me that it's shorter than I am tall.
But I don't hit my head on it.
No, she doesn't hit her head. Kyla won't hit her head. But doggone, I keep hitting my head on it, so I don't have to work on that. But we're gonna finish this thing up today with Lisa's help. But for now, Samson's always the last to get fed, and he's
starving.
He's starving. Little fake out with the corn on the side. Got his pan right here waiting on you.
For what? Here we go. Here we go.
And I caught the spider web you missed.
Good boy, Samson.
His feet and legs are a little muddy. You can't hardly see the white. We've had quite a bit of rain in the past several days. Y'all, here's what a hog does to ground. And remember, this was wooded ground before we put this little lot in here for him. But it's trampled down, he roots it up, he eats roots. I want to show you back here. This is his log hadn't really been a problem. He moves it all over the place. It hadn't shorted the fence out. I ain't hit it yet, but he uses that thing like a hurdle. I think we're going to get him in the Olympics next time that comes around, because he's been getting a lot of practice on that thing. But look down here at his waller. This thing's nice. I believe there's actually a spring back in here, and this will just stay full of water, especially when we got good rains and through the winter. And so he's keeping his pool nice and tidy. He keep all throughout the day, he'll nose around it, keeping it clean, because you know he's got to get in there and cool off when it's hot. But y'all, this is what a hog would do to your ground. That's why you want to give them plenty of space if you're going to be raising them like this in the woods.
Hey guys. All right. Go. Go. Come on. Let's go. No, not that way. Come on.
Y'all, at this stage of these Ranger chickens' life, we come out here twice a day to tend to them. In the mornings, we fill up their water. They've got, I believe that's 3.5 gallon water in there. We fill it up twice a day. And with fresh water, I always want to keep fresh water in it. Even if there's some left in there, unless it's really clean looking, dump it out. Put fresh, clean water in it. And we top off their feed. We've got 2 feeders on the inside. You saw the one that's long and it kind of hangs on chains and swings around. They like to get up in that one and lay down. And they use it just fine. And we've also got, it's an antique, an old round feeder in there. And honestly, I like those better because they can't get in it. Keeps the feed cleaner because they will poop in the party, poop in the feed, and you have to clean that out. But y'all, when you put fresh feed in here, they act like a feeding frenzy and they go to it. But we do that twice a day. We keep their feed full all the time. Or in other words, they never run out of feed, and that's how you want to do a Ranger. And we've had good success. We still have 31 birds. And we are 6 weeks into it, I believe. We've got a couple more weeks to go, and then we'll be processing here around, I think it's June the 2nd is we're going to process. And we'll bring you along for some of that. As I've told you before, I think I sucked a bug down my throat. Didn't tell you that. But as I've told you before, we don't show the slaughter process just because we don't feel comfortable showing that. And if you want to see it, you can see it somewhere else. There's plenty of places to see it on here. But anyways, we'll show you the plucking since we got that new plucker. That thing's pretty cool. And we'll show you the processing further cuts later on. We've done that before, but we'll show you again and how we do the packaging. All right, so that's all the critters that need to be cared for. You got to do it twice a day, y'all, and somebody's got to be here to do it. And most of the time it's Lisa, but I'm fortunate right now I've been home in the mornings to be able to help her with that. And now we're going to get to the other projects of the day. So we'll get some tools together and get on with that. All right, Lisa's going to help me out here because she can squat down a whole lot easier than I can after these 3 knee surgeries. All we're going to do is take some pressure off of the cinder block base that it's on. Just gonna jack it up with this bottle jack, and hopefully this thing's gonna slide right out. Then we can turn our block the other way to go in line with that 6x6.
And hopefully you did not screw anything to that.
Yeah, hopefully. That's probably good. It took pressure off of it, so take your hammer and beat it up close to the long one there. There you go. Yep.
It's still still sitting on it. I can see it.
Give it one hard lick.
It's still sitting on it.
All right, jack her up some more.
Sure does look like it may be screwed in.
It may be. If you beat it hard enough, it'll probably come out. Beat it like you're mad at it.
Mad at you or mad at it?
Both. Boy, you don't get mad, do you? Let me try it one time. I think it's moving.
It's moving here, but it's not moving here. That's why I think you've got it
It could be
attached.
Let me give it a try. Like you're mad at it. And that worked. Now, we can get that out of the way, slide this thing over, stack up some wood on top, re-secure it, then I can come on out. That's just going to give Rosie that much more room over here for nesting and farrowing. Now my arm hurts. Okay, now you can see what I'm going for here. More light transmission on the front side of this building and more ventilation. And it's not so wide apart that Rosie will be able to get her nose up in between those slats and cause any damage. Went on the inside and bent those nails up and beat them back into the wood so she can't hurt her nose on them. Got one more patch job to do on this other side. Then I can hang that front gate. This thing's done. Almost. Got to put a little bumper in there, but it's about done, y'all. All right, y'all, I got my gate hung over here, and it opens both ways. Open nice and wide so that Rosie feels comfortable going in, because she's a big hog, and you need to give them plenty of width to get in. For this to go both ways, and it actually latches with two latches on the inside, so that if she pushes up against it, it's not going to open, at least not easily. But y'all, that's the job, getting those gates hung just right. With the hardware that I use those, I don't know what you call them, it's just a gate hanger that you drill a hole into your timber, screw it in, and you run them in there like this. That way she can't lift it up or push it down. If that makes sense. I'll try to get you a close up there and show you what I'm talking about with those latches. And I'll be honest, I can't always get them just right, but this one went pretty good. All right, all I got left to do is this side right here. This is actually the gate. She's over here peeing. This is actually the gate for the entrance into the farrowing barn. So I got to wall this up right here. Same way I did this over here. And see if I got enough lumber to finish this, because I don't feel like firing up the sawmill today. Not that I don't love milling lumber, but I'm trying to get this thing done. And I believe she's in heat. Fairly confident in it. That's a good sign, because let's see, at the end of June, if Samson is big enough, he'll be 8 months old at the end of June, and she will be pushing 10 months, 9.5 months or so, somewhere between 9 and 10 months. And I'd like to get her bred, and so you want to wait until your boar is big enough to breed. Don't just throw him out there with your gilts or your sows when he's 6 months old and expect him to perform. He could have a bad experience, and that could scar him for life. So make sure he's big enough before you turn him in there. Make sure he is sexually mature. And we'll talk more about how we go about breeding with a live boar when it comes that time. So we'll explain to you how we're going to do that, and that's based off of the knowledge that I have from my dad having raised hogs for many, many years, commercially and like we're doing here. So when that time comes, we'll try to give you some tips on that if it's something you're thinking about doing. But for now, I'm gonna get this wall done. And then this thing is almost completely knocked out. I do have to come over here to this other side and I'll show you something. This gate over here, if the camera's picking it up, it's too close. It is too close to the hot wire on the other side. You really want to give your hogs a buffer, and we've got about 3 to 4 feet of a buffer wherever a hog has to go through a chute. That way they're not scared to death about going through it, because they will be a little gun shy when it comes to going through a gate. And so I'm going to have to take down some of my fence where her water barrel is there, and I'm going to make a nice big wide opening for her to start coming in here. We'll start feeding her, and we'll move her waterer in here. Actually, we have another one. We'll get another waterer set up in here that has a nipple down low and a nipple up high, one for her and one for the piglets when they start actually going on to the water nipple. And they won't do that for probably 3 weeks or more. They won't even touch that water nipple because they'll be drinking mama's milk. But that's one more thing I got to get done. That won't be hard to finish that up, because I'd like to start feeding her in here by the weekend. And today is Monday. So by the weekend, I'd like to start feeding her in here and go ahead and shut her up into this space so that she's not out yonder building a nest somewhere out in the woods where we can't control the farrowing process. Because you want to have good animal husbandry and take care of those piglets. You can rear them out in the woods, people do it, but if you have the ability to put them into a farrowing barn, that's the way to go. You don't have to worry about the elements as much. You can hang a heat lamp if you need to, and you don't have to worry about, I don't know, a coyote bumping through your fence and snatching the pig. I don't know if that would happen, but good to just take care of them, y'all. All right, here's your new tour. New and improved farrowing barn. Everything's walled in now. Big wide front gate. Almost 40 inches. Can open it inside or outside. Outside's best for getting your hog in and out. Inside just in case you need it. But if we walk in, the light will catch up here with the camera. Now, have a safe zone back in the corner for piglets. And I'm not completely done with it, but I'm done for the day. Electric will come in right there, heat lamp. Rosie has a lot more room now. I gotta get this gate where I can secure it. It'll push all the way. Something's in the way right now, but there we go. It'll push all the way there. There's a lot more room, y'all. Plenty of room for her to get up, move around, piglets to be able to get out of the way. This is gonna work out pretty good. All right, y'all, I'm gonna end it right here for the day. Lisa's done down in the garden. This farrowing barn is done. Got to get that other gate open and done so that Rosie can get in here by the weekend. That'll put her about a week from farrowing date, I believe, if I look at the camera right, at the calendar right. But guys, this is a job. It's a job raising your animals. But y'all, you know where your food comes from when you do it this way. You know that it's been butchered in a clean environment, that it's been handled properly. And y'all, you cannot get heritage breed pork in the grocery store. And this Hereford, I'm gonna tell you, it's the best I've had. And I'm not just saying that because we raise it, because I've had the Berkshire, I've had the Tamworth, I've had the blue butts from that you buy in the grocery store. They raise it in the hog houses. And y'all, this is good stuff. We're happy with it. Y'all have a good day. Hit the old thumbs up for us. Subscribe if you hadn't, and if you have, y'all, we appreciate it. We'll see you on the next video.